I'm going to go ahead and get started. Because like I said, I'm going to talk about belief, vision, and purpose and wrap that up with a nice little bow. Before we go into our Winning the War in Your Mind book study, which will be starting in March. So if you haven't already gotten your book, please get it. It's powerful. But I want to talk to you guys about the Star Diamonds Rising. It is a challenge group, and I encourage each of you to lean into this. If you are taking the time to hop on a team call on a Tuesday every week, then that means there's something about this business and not just you hearing Robin's voice every week that you want to get out of this. Okay. And I'm here to tell you that the month of March can be huge for you and your business. March, April, May are really the biggest months in the Plexus world. March, April, May, June, and July, because a lot of people who are working towards earning Hawaii, or Mexico, depending on which place we're going that year, those 5 months are really crucial. Okay. So because of that, we had several, I think it was like 36 star diamonds. Okay. And if you don't know what that is, star diamond basically means that you have a really solid, healthy business. And that means that in your levels 1 through 4, you have at least one, to have 1 star, you have one ranking, solid ranking jewel. Could be an emerald, could be a sapphire, could be a diamond, but they just have to be a jewel. But a solidly ranking jewel, and it could be in your levels 1 through 4, and you have 4 of those. So you have 4 individual leader legs. Okay. Well, to go to the Star Diamond Summit that they just went to in California, it was very fancy. Plexus Corporate flew all the people out there. It was about 37 or 38 of them. I aspire to get there one day. It was 3 stars and above. So you'd have 3 leader legs. So if you're thinking about building a solid business, your job is to comb through as many people as possible. And I'm telling you guys, I'm 10 years in and I'm about to sign my next rock star. I'm telling you, I'm speaking it into existence. I know it's going to happen. I'm signing her up in just a few days. And I'm telling you guys, where there's a will, there's a way. You could be 10 years into this business and still be breathing new life in your business. And so I am here to tell you that you want to be listening and taking notes from people who've been there and done that. And so those 36, 37 Star Diamonds who are part of that Star Diamond Rising group, it is a Facebook group. It's going to be happening 1 month. It's the month of March. It is perfect timing for you to create the momentum that you need in your business. I know personally the things that are coming March 1st, and let me tell you, you don't want to miss out. You want to make sure you have lots of clean lists. There's something really cool coming, and also some awesome incentives as well, and really great prizes and things for you that's up for the taking on top of our already generous comp plan. So I said all that to say, you want to be a part of this group because being in the group and staying focused, and really guys, it's not that big of a commitment. So if you've been wanting to learn how to grow steady and strong in your business, you want to rank to the next level at some point this year, you want to hold your rank steady, you want to develop new leader legs, if you want to grow your network and you want to grow and develop business builders, if you want to recruit better quality committed people, if you feel like you're feeling like you're not enough for this, if you're feeling like a little bit negative, but you want to get out of that mindset, you not only need to join the book club, but you also need to join Rising Diamonds. If you know what actually works for you now, like let's just say you know what to do, you're just not doing it, you need that extra motivation. If you want to create the momentum that you desire, if you do believe in yourself and your dream, if you answered yes to any of those things, you need to be in that group. Okay. And all that the group is really going to entail, there's no qualifications. Anybody can be in the group. There's already almost 2,000 people in the group, if not more at this point. And I would like for our team to have as many people as possible in that group. So you're gaining as much knowledge as you can for free. Because a lot of these Star Diamonds that are in there, they charge thousands of dollars for their training programs. Okay. They have their whole other side hustle where they charge a lot of money for you to get any aspect of how they have become successful at this business and network marketing. So Monday through Friday, every single day, it will be a 7 to 10 minute live from one of the Star Diamonds. They'll go live at 8 a.m. Central. I think it's 8 a.m. And so listen to it on your way to work, go and listen to the playback on your break from work, whatever. But Monday through Friday, yes, it's very exciting, Marquita. Monday through Friday, you go to that page, you're going to hear a 7 to 10 minute video, and it's going to be tips from that particular Star Diamond who's speaking that day on the live. And then it's going to be an action item that they're going to give to you. do the action item, like listen to it and then do the action item. And then on Saturdays, they're going to have an Ask Anything, like a panel where you can basically ask anything. You hop on that Zoom on that Saturday and you can ask them any question. It's a great opportunity. You start picking the brains of people of where you want to go. John Maxwell talks about that all the time. He said when he first started out, he reached out to like the 10 most astute and successful pastors, because he was in ministry before he started his John Maxwell group. And he just said, hey, I want to just interview you. I'll take you out to lunch. I'll pay. And he actually offered to pay them. I just want to go out. I just want to pick your brain. This is what those Ask Anything opportunities are, except it's free. Okay. They also are going to be doing some giveaways up to $1,000 in giveaways. So all the Star Diamonds will be giving some fun prizes away. So the goal is not only for you to just join the group, but engage yourself in the group. Actually do the things that they're telling you to do, because if you do, you're going to see some movement in your business. You can't help but to. Okay. The one thing I'll share with you, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, that's a lot, Robin. I can barely do what I'm doing now. You are only going to be overwhelmed if you choose to be overwhelmed. Okay. The book that we're doing right now, Winning the War in Your Mind, taking those thoughts captive, replacing lies with truth. You are only overwhelmed if you say you're overwhelmed. Okay. You have to focus on speaking in the affirmative and speaking in the positive. Like, I get to do this. I get to sit before these amazing Star Diamonds who are making, literally, some of them making millions of dollars a year doing network marketing from their phones. I want to get where they are. And maybe some of you don't have that big of a goal. Maybe you want to get to Jewel, which is a huge feat in and of itself. If that's where you want to be, you still need to be learning from the best. Okay. So I really encourage you to hop in that group and actually engage and do the things, guys. Okay. So any questions about the Star Diamond Rising group? I did a post about it. The Facebook group, the link is right there. It's no stipulations. You just join. Okay. And then I also encourage you to lock arms with someone on our team, or just anybody, and be in the group with them. Get an accountability partner. Like, every day, make sure you're holding yourself accountable to listen to the video, doing the action item, and then hopping on at least one or two of those Ask Anything Saturdays. Okay. So we're going to wrap up the Belief, Vision, and Purpose series that I've been doing for probably the 4th week. I think this is part 4. And so I think we were kind of wrapping up the last week. We didn't do it last week, but week before last, when we were talking about the validity of catching your thoughts. Okay. So a lot of this is already talked about in Winning the War in Your Mind. I highly recommend you do this, and not only read the book, but do the action items at the end of each chapter. Okay. When you make a conscious decision, y'all, to direct your attention, you can physically change your brain in a healthy way. Okay. Your brain is neuroplastic. That means it can change. It is malleable, right? It is your own choice, though. You have the choice to change your brain, change your thinking. Okay. And research shows, I talked about this the other week when I was doing this particular series of part 3, that it only takes about 5 to 16 minutes a day of focus capturing your thoughts. And that's enough to shift your front brain state, which is what we think about, say, and what we do. And then it's being driven by your subconscious mind. That's how you can get it into the forefront, the conscious part of your mind. Okay. So do y'all see the importance of like making a decision to do these exercises daily, even if it's just 5 minutes? Okay. So some of the action steps I want to give to you for really focusing on changing your brain. You're going to get a lot of information from Winning the War in Your Mind, but obviously you're reading that as we go. So I'm going to give you some things that you can start doing right now. And this information comes from the amazing book by Dr. Caroline Leaf called Switch Your Brain. And she talks about she actually does a 21-day detox plan. It's like a brain detox plan. And that 5-step plan is: 1, you want to gather. This means this is the self-awareness part. You want to gather information. That is right at the beginning of this book. If you go in the beginning of the book, they have like a questionnaire. You answer that. They also have some questions, right? Where you're like writing down the lies that you're believing. Okay. Writing down the things that you're thinking. Okay. Thinking about your thinking. You do that in this book, but you also can do it on your own. Just gather, be aware of what you're thinking, how you're thinking, why you're thinking it. Focus reflection is number 2. When you think about what really needs to change, like if most of you know what you're not doing, in order for the needle to actually move. You know what you need to do because you know what you're not doing, right? And so think about what you really need to change, and then think about why are you not thinking those things? Why are you not thinking the positive things? Okay. And then really thinking about, well, what really is the truth? Because what you're thinking is 9 times out of 10, it's a lie. It's not the truth, right? And so you want to think about, well, what really is the truth? And remember that your thoughts, guys, do not control you, right? You want to identify that change, and then you want to talk about it with positive affirmations. Okay. And then number 3, you want to write. You want to take some time to really journal your thoughts. Okay. That also is recommended in the different activities in winning the war in your mind. Okay. Number 4, you want to revisit. So you want to evaluate where you have come from and where you're going. Guys, I have made a lot of progress in my own mindset, but I still struggle. I struggle in areas of my personal life. I struggle in areas of my business. And so I am fully committed, and I do this daily. I do a lot of self-reflection. I do a lot of hard thinking, deep thinking on, well, why did I make that decision? Why did I say that? Why did I feel that way? And I'm doing a lot of self-reflecting, and it gets me to a place where I'm like, oh, it's tied to this. How many of you have epiphanal moments where you really start to connect the dots and you get like, you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you're like, that's a toxic thought that I have, but it's based on this experience with this person. And for whatever reason, my brain got stuck years ago. And so now I'm choosing to think differently about this, right? Especially when you're like in relationship with others, with family members, significant others, that sort of thing. It's very easy to get stuck. So you want to write down those thoughts and then revisit. Number 4 is revisit and reevaluating, because you're intentionally going to be shifting to that new thinking, the new healthy thoughts. Okay. And then number 5 is the active search. Okay. So your actions and those exercises that you'll actually say and do, it really should line up the thoughts with your imagination. Okay. That should line up. And then you want to be thinking about how that is actually matching up and aligning with the words that are coming out of your mouth. Because if you're thinking the things, then you have to speak it into existence. So those things have to match. But if your thoughts are toxic, then your words are going to be toxic. Your words are going to be negative, right? And a lot of times y'all don't think, you think you're being positive. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, do they understand what they're saying? Like, it's so negative. It's always a complaint. It's always something. You have to really, really dive deeper and focus on like the words that are coming out of your mouth that's tied somehow to some thinking that has turned faulty. Okay. So clear vision. That is the goal here. You want to have a crystal clear vision, have so much clarity on where you're headed in this business. That is the one thing that helped me so much, is that I just had a clear vision. I was tunnel vision on where I was heading, and I still have a tunnel vision on where I'm going. And so it's like I have these blinders on. It's like nothing can stop me because I just continue to stay focused. And I'm telling y'all, every single day I meet someone new or I sign up someone different, and I'm like, there's so much for the taking. Like there's so much out there, and I'm 10 years in, y'all, 10 years in. So the great thing that when you think about clear vision, first of all, I want you to comment me or something in the comments. If you ever feel like in this business, you've been in over your head or you're out of your comfort zone. I'd venture to say that all 31 of you would say yes, right? You're in over your head and you're in this business, or you're really stepping out of your comfort zone. Like, this is not comfortable for me. Okay. A lot of you may be thinking that. Okay. The great thing about this though, is that when you work and play, it's what I call the edge of your abilities. So when you're working and playing at the edge of your abilities, it's easy and normal to feel this way. But it's also because when you work at the edge of your abilities, you're growing, you're learning, right? You're expanding your skills and you're doing things afraid. And that is why you're going to become successful. And that's why you are here right now. Some of you have gotten as far as you've gotten because you've started to play at the edge of your abilities. That means you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Even when you feel like you're in over your head, you do it anyway. You do it afraid, okay? So what if we didn't allow all the doubts and all the fears and all the limiting beliefs to have the last word? Okay, that's the goal. They should not have the last word. And since your vision is really a snapshot of something with a bigger purpose, something that is indicative of a bigger future, isn't it worth it to overcome those stumbling blocks, y'all, that are internal resistance? Do y'all ever feel this internal resistance that you have? And it's like, I'm the one that's creating the internal resistance. Like, no one's creating the internal resistance but me, right? And so that internal resistance, that fear that we allow many times unconsciously, it's thrown in our path. Like we're not even aware of it because it's all in the subconscious of our mind. Okay. So we absolutely 100%, y'all, can leverage the strength to lead with courage. Okay. You can do this, right? It does not mean that you're not going to have resistance or you're not going to have doubts, but what you are going to do is something that's going to take you to the next level each and every step of the way, right? When it happens, when you decide to live on the edge of your abilities, when you decide to step out of your comfort zone daily, it's going to propel you forward every single time. Okay. So getting to the root of fears, getting to the root of your thoughts, it's going to help us to not stunt our growth anymore. Okay. That's the goal. You do not want to continue to stunt your own growth. So I want you to let this empower you to move forward with purpose. Okay. Be intentional with this work, y'all. I'm telling you, if you actually do the things that are outlined in Winning the War in Your Mind and do some of the things, I'm wrapping up this series of Belief, Vision, and Purpose because I knew I was going to segue right into this book study in the month of March. But some of these things is helping you, that I'm talking about in this call, in the series, is helping you to get a jump start on that if you haven't actually started reading the book, which, by the way, I recommend that you do that because the first book study call is next week. So before you end this quarter, which the end of this quarter is the end of March, okay, I want you to write it. I want you to read it. I want you to run it. Okay. I want you to do those things. I want you to write down what are the things that are holding you back? What are the toxic thoughts or negative thoughts that you have? I want you to start reading, tying it to scripture, right? So you can actually apply it with like the truth of the word, but also replace those negative thoughts, replace those lies with truth. Okay. And Craig talks about this extensively in his book. Okay. And then you're just going to start, you're going to start running with it. You are going to start taking those thoughts captive, replacing those lies with truth. And then that is going to propel you to get into activity that you have not previously been in, because now you're actually changing the neural pathways of your brain. You're shifting those thoughts. Okay. So I want you to really, really consider this. Okay. Let your feet do the talking. Let your feet do the talking. So many of us have so many things we say. Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm headed to do this. And I'm going to make it here. I'm going to rewrite. And we do all this talking, but like, let your feet do the talking. Actually get into activity and do the work. Do what you say you're going to do. Do y'all know one of the number one things that builds confidence is like actually doing what you say you're going to do? That helps you build so much confidence in yourself when you're like, oh, I can trust myself. Because if you don't trust yourself, you for dang sure aren't going to be trusting anybody else around you. So actually just do what you say you're going to do. And better yet, I'm not suggesting that you make these little piddly goals so that you can do what you say you're going to do. Like, I'm going to set the lowest goal possible so I can actually keep my word. Like, no, like it is really, really important that you are stretching yourself to do what you know God has called you to do. Some of you have so much more in you that you just don't exert the energy or the effort. And like, you know that you have more in you. You know that there's more left, but you just don't do it because you're like, well, I don't want to disappoint myself and I don't want to lie to myself anymore. So I'm just going to give myself like a pass and I'm just going to set a really small goal. And that's the opposite of faith, right? You want to exercise a high level of faith, and this business actually helps you to do that. If you lean in and do the hard things, Angie's like, ouch. If you lean in to do the hard things, if you actually do what you say you're going to do, if you actually sit down and set some real goals in your business and then work towards them daily, that is where you're going to bear the fruit. Okay. So this dysfunction, if you continue to go down this path of negative thoughts, toxic thinking, it will make you self-sabotage your opportunities, y'all. How many of you have felt like I have sabotaged some opportunities in my life? I have thought about things. I thought I would actually take advantage of it, but I did nothing. There's so many people, they start businesses, don't do anything with them. They invest thousands of dollars in training programs, don't do anything with them. Like, people do this every day, all day. And so they kid themselves thinking, oh, I'm going to do it this time around. I'm going to do it this time around. Absolutely do nothing. Do nothing. Don't be that person, right? Don't sabotage your own opportunities. Okay. So I want to wrap it up with this because I do want to go back because I have quite a few more people that have gotten on this call. since we started. I do want to talk a little bit more about the Star Diamonds Rising group, because I really, really want that to be a priority for each and every one of us, especially if you're on this call. That means you're prioritizing this business to some degree. But I'm gonna end this part, and then I'm gonna go back to that. So when you think about the book of Ruth in the Bible, it referenced Orpah and how she sabotaged her opportunity to go to Bethlehem, and she couldn't escape this gravitational pull of what she came from, because she found safety in dysfunction, y'all. She found safety in dysfunction, and that safety in dysfunction that she was feeling, it really gave her dis-ease in her dream, right? So she had this dis-ease, she was diseased in her own dream. Okay. And so I want you to think about, are you Orpah or are you Ruth? Okay. Orpah wants to be a big girl in a small town. But if you're a Ruth, you will have to walk into a room where you don't have VIP seating, y'all. If you were a teacher in Moab, then you're going to have to be a student in Bethlehem. Okay. If you were a teacher in Moab, you're going to have to be a student in Bethlehem. And so this is really, I read the book, A Vision Driven Leader. I don't know if y'all have read that. Yeah, A Vision Driven Leader by Michael Hyatt. He talks about this specifically, and he references that. And so I just want you to go forth, have faith in what you're doing, replace any negative or toxic thoughts that you have about yourself, about your business, about your abilities, about your potential. Replace it with truth. Dig deeper into this book that we're going to be starting next week, Winning the War in Your Mind. If you haven't already gotten it, maybe you need to get the Audible version. You won't be able to highlight. You know, I'm old school. I like to have the hard copy, but that's you. You do you. Okay. But goal is to have the first couple chapters read by next Tuesday. Okay. So I encourage you to do that. So before we end in just a few minutes, I want to go back and talk just a few more minutes about the Star Diamond Rising group. I talked with, the people who were on right at 8 o'clock. And it is really, really important, if you want to create momentum in your business in 2024, that you join that group and you actually engage in the group. That's what I was telling the folks that were hopping on before. You're going to get daily training from a top star diamond inside this private Facebook group. I think they already have about 2,000 people in the group. You don't have that. There's no stipulations. Anybody can be in the group. There's going to be strategic training on how to rank, how to re-rank, and how to utilize the March incentives. It's going to start March 1st. March is going to be a huge month if you actually leverage it and if you start the month strong. March 1st, I believe, is Friday. Leverage that. Okay. I know it's the weekend, but leverage that opportunity to get into that Facebook group. I've said this once. I'm going to say it about 5, 6 more times. I know what's coming in March. You really, really, really need to get your list cleaned off. Okay. Get your list nice and clean. All your people who are inactive, all your people who you've talked to a billion times about plexus they never ordered, all the people that you talked to 10 years ago or 7 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever, make a list of all those people. Go in your back office, get that cleaned up. Okay. You're going to want to be reaching out to people, okay, in the very first week of March, because what is coming is not going to be up for the taking for very long. Okay. And this is a great way for you to get people back into the fold. And on top of that, the ability for you to earn some really cool incentives is up for the taking also in March. Okay. So you really, really want to be prepared ahead of time. That's why I'm telling you now, get prepared. So you won't be like, oh, I didn't have time. Yeah, you have time. Go ahead and start doing that now. Okay. Now, the other thing is there's going to be intentional working together sessions late in the month of March in this Star Diamonds Rising group, where you can hop on a live. And this is the one that they're doing on Saturday. But they also have some Zoom, kind of like Zoom rooms. They'll have separate Zoom rooms where you can get on a live with a few Star Diamonds and work as a group together, right? Using the top tips and ideas and connection messages that they'll be giving us. They'll have the weekend Q&A, the one I was talking about, Ask Anything on Saturdays. And then they're going to help you guys. They're going to help us in all 5 growth areas. Okay. The 5 growth areas. I don't know the time on Saturday yet. It's probably in the group though, Summer. All 5 growth areas is recruiting, retaining, developing, network building, and mindset. Those are the 5. So we talk about the 4 pillars. That's like the 4 pillars that includes recruiting, duplication, retention, and then leadership. This is different. These are 5 different growth areas: recruiting, retaining, developing, network building, and mindset. Very, very important. And then there's going to be obviously be giveaways and prizes daily. Okay. And then surprise bonus lives for more tips and tricks and tools that have helped a lot of these Star Diamonds succeed at a high level. Just to wrap this up, if you are new and you're not aware, Star Diamond basically means that you have built a very, very strong and lucrative business over time. And that means that you have at least 3 separate leader legs. Okay. So a separate leader leg would be like if I developed Marquita and Ebony, and let's see who else is on the call. It's my level 1. I don't see any of my level 1s on here. Oh, and Summer. I'm not talking about Summer. Hello. In Summer. Those 3 leader legs, okay, those jewels, okay, if they're working consistently and they're building consistently and they have a consistently solid business, those 3 would be my 3 leader legs. That's what qualifies people for Star Diamond. That's at 3 stars. So they get a lot of perks, but one of the perks is that they go to this big mastermind every year, and Plexus does it really big for them. Okay. Just as a reward for their hard work and their leadership, because they're just masters at leadership development. But then when you get to the next level, if you have 4 leader legs, okay, if you have 4 growing solid leader legs, okay, and it could be in your levels 1 through 4, it doesn't have to be your level 1s. I happen to have 3 amazing level 1s on the call right now with Summer, Marquita, and Ebony. So that's why I'm using them as an example. But if you have 4 leader legs, then you qualify for the Star Diamond yacht trip. It is an amazing experience. It's 5 or 6 nights. You get the entire yacht for yourself and 5 of your family members or friends. You can take whoever you want, but the yacht is just for you. Okay. So it's just an incredible experience. And so the reason why I share that with you is because, yes, a whole yacht. The reason why I share that with y'all is because for Plexus to charter, well, they own the yacht, first of all. Tall bought the yacht. But for Plexus to have invested that much money in something that would incentivize people to build a solid business like that, that is a big deal for you to be a 4-star diamond. Okay. It is difficult to do. They just don't throw trips out there like that for doing nothing, right? So you have to be building a solid business. So that's the reason why I'm telling you all this. That goes to show you the people that are going to be pouring into us for the next 31 days in March, they know some things, right? I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. Okay. We can try to make excuses. Oh, they got in early, or their network's different, or this is that and the other. Again, toxic thinking, get rid of it, throw it away, right? Because they've obviously done some amazing things to build a business like that, because it's very rare to be able to do that. So I encourage you to hop in that group. Thank y'all for letting me finish this series on belief, vision, and purpose. Next month, we'll have some of our normally scheduled calls, but the focus next month will really be on the book club. So hopefully our numbers won't drop in attendance. I hope to have at least 40 of you in the book club call, because a lot of times you're like, I'm not going to read it, or, oh, I forgot to read it, so I'm just not going to hop on the call. There's still growth that can happen through listening in on the conversation and dialogue. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of your night. It's right at 8:30 almost. I'll stop the recording now. I know you will, Summer. I'm excited to have you guys. So